The Marquette
What
Warriors. Is it the Marquette Warriors or the Eagles? Which one is it?
Warriors,
that's
man. We Warriors, man. But we,
that's
we're gonna be
absolutely.
respectful. We'll be respectful and put a hash, Warrior
Let's
Eagles.
tell you. What T-Mill and I we do share a special for that because we actually get to be both. We were the last Warriors and we
Yes,
were the first Golden Eagles, so we do
true.
actually have a special heritage there. But AG, listen, man, I want to introduce you, man, to my personal opinion, man, one of the greatest point guards, man, to ever play this game. Hails out of Cleveland, Ohio. Went to, get this, AG, St. Joseph High School in Cleveland.
Damn.
Has been, man, a wizard with the basketball. Marquette University's all-time leading assist record holder. And I'm going to put it out here right now. It is time for Marquette to retire that number 10 because I don't think anybody in this day and age is going to break that record because guys shoot too much. Don't nobody want to pass the ball. It is time to put that in the rafters where it belongs. Not only that, T-Mill is one of the guys who put Marquette University back on the map. And now currently he is taking all that knowledge after playing overseas, after coaching at the University of Southern California. He is now the owner, the operator of the garage where he is teaching young men and women not just to love the game, but the technique and the skills to play the game. AG, I want to welcome to the show my dog, my boy, my point guard, Anthony, Tony, Miller.
Anthony,
T-Mill, welcome to the show, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you, man.
What's up, dog? What's up,
What's
man?
up, man? It's an honor to be on this show with y'all. There's a lot of history here in regards to the whole Hoop Dream thing. For the fact that, like I say, Will and myself is teammates. We got big time stories about the movie itself. When y'all was doing the little things and doing a road in New York. So it's an honor to be here on here with y'all. And I appreciate it.
How crazy is this, T-Mill, man? We're going to take it back, man, because one of the things that AG and I do on this show, man, even though, it's the AG and Gates Hoop Dreams podcast, it's really the T-Mill podcast. That's what the show is about today. So, man, take us back, man, because a lot of people, some know your history, but they don't know your start. Take us back to, man, growing up Cleveland, Ohio, you and your beautiful mom. Shout out to your mom, your greatest supporter. Take us back, man.
Growing up in Cleveland was great for me. I didn't know no better but to grow up in the projects. For us, that was life. Go outside, everybody meet outside. Back in the days, you play hide and seek, and you can play hide and seek for all night. Go in, eat, come back out. Who it? So,
Right.
the older times, you learn a lot growing up in the projects, as you all know. But it was great back then. Great family atmosphere from everybody. I mean, you thought you had 10 moms, 10 dads, because everybody could say something to you and hold you accountable, regardless of where you were. I think that did a lot of things for me in regards to just how you grow up respectful, understand respecting others and respecting elders in that way. But it was a great time growing up. It's very competitive. You learned the hard way. Back then we played outside. So, you go play outside and and if you're the young guy, you got to the court early so you can try to get on and stay on. Otherwise, you had to want to establish yourself for the older guys to pick you. And then when they picked you, they gave you a role. You went out to do what you want to do. You had to, okay, old guys couldn't dribble. Tony, dribble it up for me. And the old guys couldn't guard nobody, play deep. It was never about shooting, though. That's probably why I became the point guard I was as I got older. Even playing with my dad, I always would play with my dad. I would play on his teams, and they'll be like, I need you to dribble it up. Then I got to get everybody the ball. But it had nothing to do with me shooting the ball and then go play defense. But you learn how to play the game. It was good times. Like I said, growing up in Cleveland I never changed it for anything. It made me who I am. It's made me how I work. It made me what I stand for. And I always call it home. And it's a great place.
It's interesting you talk about Cleveland, man, because Cleveland, especially when it comes to basketball, doesn't get greatest rep for the game itself. I mean, obviously, they talk about LeBron, but there's a lot of great athletes that come out of St. Joe, out of Cleveland. Matter of fact, We know of one. We play with one. Aaron Hutchins was also from the Ohio area. Talk about, man, why you think that Cleveland can't get that recognition of like a Chicago, like a Indiana, because this is all Midwest basketball.
I think it was more because we didn't have as many quote unquote known pros to come out of here. I mean, when you think of Chicago, you would hear Isaiah, you hear McGuire's back in those times, but then you had the newer guys, the guys that came up behind them. You had Wade and you had Rose, of course. So that you had to, y'all had so many people that come up before that. So therefore, those guys were also able to talk about the ones who you didn't hear about. You know, because we all know growing up in the city, in the inner city, that there's players that you don't know about that we know can play at a high level, but for whatever reason has stopped them from playing there. So I think that in Cleveland case, we didn't have as many guys that could tell the story or brought enough attention until they got, for example, LeBron brought that attention. But like, you know, Charles Oakley is from there. Ruben Patterson is from there. One of my real best friends and like a brother to me, Earl Boykins is from there. You got a DePaul legend, as in Kevin Edwards, who went to my high school. He's
Kevin
from
Edwards.
there. So there's a lot of guys that's from Ohio that did a lot of things, but we haven't had too many like major pros like you all have had as a Midwest city that could kind of shine that light on the city itself. But there's a lot of guys back there that played the game and played the game at a high level, get through college or played in Europe, and then some that made it professional as well.
Hey, all I know is that damn Mark Price and Ron Harper used to give Michael Jordan them fits, baby.
Hey, we felt that until it counted, though. Then Jordan caused us a lot of turmoil. We couldn't get over the hump with him, but hey, when you're dealing with the greatest, you know, hey, you understand.
Hey,
that.
but Cleveland used to always be in the top of the East though. Like they was a tough team. Like they weren't just no easy out. Like, you know, Hot Rod,
Yep.
You know, Doherty, you know, they had a nice nucleus of guys on that team.
Yeah, that, you know, and y'all know back then, you know, they played the game. You know what I'm saying? They had defenders, they ran their stuff, they executed, they understand that you know, we're gonna run what we want to run. What you take away, whatever you take away, we're gonna figure that out. And they had people that could do everything. They had some shooters, they had post up players, they had guys who catch it and get a basket. You know, you had back then, like people don't know back then, Harper was close to being like a Jordan before he had the injuries.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So people don't know that, but you know, from that Cleveland squad, he kind of made a difference. And then you had a defender like Elo who came and did things, and then Mark Price is, of course, you know, point guard. They could do it all, and then they had Doherty down low. We had Nance, athletic. It's just back in the day for some of these young people, but it was always a solid team. It was just, you know, when you got somebody, as we learned in time, when you have somebody like just an overall just change the game, you know, and in the pro level, and it come down to one shot. I mean, you got the greatest on your team. I mean, you can't do nothing about it.
Mark Price was the first dude I seen that split a double team.
Oh yeah. He was.
Oh man,
he was big on
it
those.
was part of his routine
because he shot it so well off that ball screen. Because he came off that ball screen so well. When you shoot it that well off that ball screen, that big started hedging, and that's me. Think about it. In today's game, they play drops for the most part, meaning the big is off. You know what Mark Price would do to drops? He coming up. This is gonna be all. He would be coming up shooting these pull-ups all day long.
Yeah.
And then, you know, even on the switches, you know, he wasn't just a little guard that he was getting by people. You know, he was Stockton to some degree with big time offense. You know, as far as on the perimeter. So I mean, Price did a whole lot, especially for the Cavs, and you know, so he kind of carved away. Definitely that, because him splitting was a big thing, but it's because he shot the ball so well.
Wow.
Hey, T-Man, who put that ball in your hand, man? Who?
It's interesting because my dad put it in my hand. And when he put it in my hand, we used to get in a lot of arguments about basketball. So what he used to make me do is, y'all know, back in the day, on Sundays, it was Big East basketball. You run in the house to go see Georgetown play Syracuse. You know, you want to see them game. Everybody, we watched the game then. And my dad was a big component on watching basketball. And he used to make me watch Boston games. I used to hate Boston. Oh, I hated Boston. He used to make me sit there and watch the Boston Celtics with Larry Bird and them, and just watch it. But I learned in time what he had me doing because I would watch the game and be like, okay, Bird, he can shoot it. He's like, no, how did he get it open? What did he do before? Okay, Dennis Johnson. Dennis Johnson was very simple. Okay, that ball got the Bird on time. Who scored? Who scored before that? And who did you go back to? Did you get that guy the ball again?
Mm-hmm.
What was score when this all happened? So my dad put it in my hands and kind of taught me the game through like watching the game. That's back in the day we had the VCR tape. So we
Yeah.
had so we had a bunch of those. And I used to watch a lot of old games and to record a lot and watch games that way. Back in Cleveland, we had a rec center in our project. So you'll go to the rec center and there'll be one old headed rec center who taught you every sport. And you
Right.
ain't question it. What your mom your mom ain't come there and say he don't know what he's talking about or we need a new coach. Nah, he did. He taught you everything: basketball, football, baseball, and over at the rec center I grew up, we had two people. A guy named Chris Scott. He was taught me to put the football and baseball and basketball in that regard. And then in time, a guy named Melvin Burt who started doing more and more with me with basketball on that side. And I just kind of played a lot of sports actually, so it wasn't really like all basketball. Really.
Which let me tell you this, Agee. T. Mills was actually ranked higher as a football player than he was a basketball player.
Damn.
Yeah.
In high school?
Yeah, I wasn't even, people back home would realize it. I wasn't even supposed to play basketball if you really want to think about it. I was a football American, and I had offers from Notre Dame. I remember the
Damn.
time it happened. I was in high school, and all my friends called and said, "Come down to the office." And Lou Holtz called and gave me the offer to go to Notre Dame. I went to high school, as Will said earlier, Cleveland St. Joe's, which is a big high school in Cleveland, Ohio, where Desmond Howard played as a trophy winner. I was Gerback who played at Michigan. London Fletcher who played for the Rams, all of them. So I played there.
Mm.
I played quarterback. I ran option. I played safety. I played kickoff returner. I played corner. And football came easy to me. It was interesting. So I was blessed enough in football in high school to win our first state championship in high school for football. And then the basketball part was harder. So that's kind of like pretty much I think who I am and how I am the way I am is because football was easier to me and it came easier. Basketball, I worked hard and I understood how to play, but I wasn't as talented as the next guy.
Mm.
So when it came to deciding on what I wanted to do, I chose basketball because it was something like I had to work at it. Like football, like I would sneak out the weight room. They'd be like, Tony, you'll get in trouble. And then you need to lift weights, and we'll come back to the football game the next day. I had like 4 touchdowns. Like it's just easy,
Damn.
like not really paying no attention to it. Like I play defense, I'll let you think you open and run, catch, get an interception. Football was like to this day. I had played in Europe for a couple of years, probably about 3-4 years. And London Fletcher had came to me when he was playing for the Rams when they was the biggest, greatest show on turf. And
Yeah.
they had won the Super Bowl. So that summer, we called him Bam. Bam said, "T man, I want you to come try out for the Rams." I said, "What?" He said, "Man, listen, our corners are bad, bro. We need some help with D." So I started training again to do it. And it's easy, but I didn't do it. I just like, nah, I'm gonna go ahead and stay doing this, keep playing overseas in Europe. But yeah, football was if you talk to anyone back home, they all say he played football, he been in the NFL. However, I learned a long time ago is you gotta play what you feel that you like.
Mm-hmm.
So I chose basketball because I couldn't look at my mom and dad and say, y'all wanted me to do this. I chose
Right.
to do that. So
Yeah.
whatever shortcomings I had to work through it to make sure it worked. Because I couldn't look and be like, this is what y'all wanted. No, this is what I wanted. And then
Mm-hmm.
that work ethic for it helped me because it made me be like, you know what? I started catching people. People thought people was better than me. I knew they were better than me, but I could win. So I knew how to win. I knew how to make people better and that, but I wasn't individually as talented as everyone. But in
Mm-hmm.
time, as the time went on, it improved and I started catching people and I started seeing it. I'm like, okay. So that's why right now for me to transfer all the way up to the point where I do training, I understand like kind of maybe the nuances that somebody that was very good didn't have to go through. Like I had to work and the details that you got to pay attention to because, I didn't have those things. I wish I had somebody that could kind of like really break it down and show me the details of certain things in that way. So, yeah.
Where you training out of?
So I'm training out of Arizona. I live in Arizona now, in Phoenix, Arizona. We kind of ended up staying out west. When I finished playing in Europe, I was home for about 3 years, 2 years. And then Kevin, our coach at the Marquette, called me and was like, T, I want to get a job at USC. I want you to come be a coach with me. You know, and I was like, yeah. So that kind of brought me out west. And I ended up being a buffer. We all know how Kevin is. So I was the one who was able to like make sure that the way he said it was said a different way where I could go talk to the players like, listen, this is what he means. For those who don't know, Kevin O'Neal was our coach at Marquette, and there wasn't a curse word that he didn't have, and he was direct. However, I think as Will knows, and what the people that have been around him is he cares so much about you, and the way he says it, for us growing up in the city, we hear it. We hear what you're saying. It ain't how you say it. Because we heard our moms and dads direct to us. So we weren't fragile to word.
Absolutely. And let's put it out there, T. Miller. If you in the Kevin O'Neal circle, you good. If
Yes.
you outside of the Kevin O'Neal circle, you ain't good. Let's just call it what it is.
And out of the circle might be the 7 man off the bench. You ain't got, you turn that thing over, well, you going to hear about it for the rest. He going to sub you out. You going to hear about it on the sideline while he's talking to you.
Hey, I can't wait till we get to the college day because KO was a trip. We should be playing, man. He'll call a timeout, and the dude he mad at, he be going off on him. The whistle would blow. He's like, all right, y'all get back out there. He ain't said nothing to us. He's just going off on the dude that messed up, man. This used to be insane.
I remember being in college with him, and I felt the same way one time when he sent me to work out. He sent me to work out the players. We was on the road. He's like, T, I want to go run a workout, take care of the workout and everything in the practice. And he was back in the at the hotel with the other coaches there. I get back, I hear he done went off on them. I felt like why this ain't going on? Why this ain't going on? I felt like I was back playing where he separated.
Listen,
he separated.
KO was an equal opportunist.
Everybody can get it.
Everybody could get it. Everybody could get it. It didn't matter. Listen, I remember time, man, the administration got it. I mean, this KO didn't care, man.
Bro,
KO was like,
listen, don't let us get there. Stuff ain't set up, or you gonna hear about it. Come to something late.
About winning though. That joker was about winning,
and
he wanted it done right.
Yes, yeah. And I think that's for me in today's time, it's still stuck with me. You know what I'm saying? Like I was a winner. That's what made me and him connect when he came to recruit me to high school. The fact that he was looking for somebody to run his team. My focal point was always winning. Like when I sit and think about it, I sit and think about today's time where I could have been considered the best player on our team, but I really was the best role player on our team. People don't really like to make people understand that would be like attention wise. Yeah, you see Tony, you might see them market me, but for my team and what I did for our team, I wasn't the leading scorer. I wasn't the guy go get that basket. But I was the guy that put the ball in my hands, and I figure out who's going, who we gonna go to. Okay, we'll just hit one. Let me get him again. Boom. Or our big Damon going down low. We gotta run something, go down low. Like even to the point where like KO would want to call a timeout, and I was like, no, and I wouldn't call it. And I go down and run what I want to run. Now he'll come down and say, you little fucker, you better be glad this shit worked. But,
absolutely.
But it was all it was though. So, that winning matched up with what he wanted to do and what I wanted to do. So it really matched up with us.
What was there any other schools that was recruiting you besides Marquette? Like how the hell Ohio State let you get away?
Oh, that's interesting. I was recruited by Xavier, where a guy named Stan Kimbrough, who was like a guy I looked up to that went to Marquette. I mean, they went to St. Joe's. He ended up going to Xavier. I looked up to him as a point guard. He's one of the guys out of Cleveland that played he played in the league, but was kind of like a journeyman. So you really didn't know it. But I had a lot of respect for him because he played at my high school and I seen him up close. And I would come and he would come back and work out. So it was smaller schools. Now Ohio State had recruited me. They were off and on. And my coaches kept trying to tell him, like, y'all need to make it happen. So my sophomore year, we played Jim Jackson in the state championship. And
JJ.
And Jim was about to go to Ohio State. That's when we first met. And Jim the first time we met, I said, God damn, Jim's 6'6", 220 in high school. And I'm talking about like playing guard. Back
Damn.
then, that was dope. I'm talking about bringing it up, shooting the step back, jump out, everything. So we played him in the state championship, and we lose to them in overtime. But I have 19 and I had like 19 and 15 or something like that. 19 points, like 15 assists in the game. So we lose to him. So we build a relationship to each other. And he like, bro, I know you come to Ohio State. I know you better come in. So I wanted to come, but they end up going to get another guard. I remember that guy named Doug Essler, one little guard. And I was so heated about that. You know, we would play against, every time we play against them, I would go so hard. And then we ended up playing Ohio State and we beat them. I used to beat them hard. I ended up building a good relationship with a guy named Randy Ayers, who was also a coach there, coached in the league.
Mm-hmm.
And who else was it? Oh, I can't think of the coach. So I wanted to go there to the school. We had guys that went, Clark Kellogg, who's a legend that went to my high school. He went there.
Okay.
A guy named Treg Lee, who y'all might know of.
No Treg?
Yep, Treg went there. He went to my high school. But Treg was at my high school the year before me. Then I played 1 year with Eric Riley, who went to Michigan.
Big
So
Eric.
now the other story was that I was recruited by Michigan. So the funny thing about this one was, so the Michigan recruitment went this way. I actually got a scholarship to go play football there because they saw me as like playing at kind of how Desmond was there from watching me back at Joe's. The basketball team was recruiting me, but I was like third on the list. Of course, they were trying to get Jalen. They were trying to get Lil Guard. Who Calvin? Remember Calvin Rayford, Lil Guard?
Yep.
Lil Cal. A couple other people was ahead of me in the recruitment process. But I didn't know at the time that what I could have did was I probably could have took the football scholarship, walked on with basketball, which would have made me a part of that 5-5.
Damn.
Because we the same year. Because Ohio would play Michigan in we would do this Ohio-Michigan game every year. And I played with it was me, Eric Snow. Eric Snow came from Canton, Ohio. We played the year we played against Jalen, Weber, and Rashawn Leonard. So we played against them. So if I would have took the Michigan offer for football, I would have probably walked on the basketball team and then been part of that group with the 5-5 part of that. But I chose not to play football. I didn't even play football. We won state my junior year. I didn't play football my senior year, but I still had the offers to go play football. Then
Wow.
That's crazy. You know, a lot of people don't know how tight that guard recruitment was that 1991 year. Like it was, especially like with Michigan, Marquette, Michigan State, Ohio State, and we even got the Kansas in there too, T-Mill.
Yes,
I mean, all
Kansas.
these schools were like recruiting.
Yes,
the same player.
Same players. Now, this is what I did not know. Like when Marquette started recruiting you, I didn't know that they were recruiting you because the only guys they told me they were recruiting was Eric Snow and Calvin Rayford. They never said they was recruiting Tony Miller. Now, I wasn't trying to play the point guard anyway, so I didn't care.
Right.
But I'm saying they never told me
Yeah.
that they was also recruiting. Because when did Kevin O'Neal come to you? Was this during your senior year?
He came to me early in my senior year, from like the beginning. Then when I know it was very serious, he basically came 1 week and just stayed there. This is back when they could just go post up. He was at the OT. He would beat me to practice. He was at my practice 5 days straight. He would beat me to practice.
Hey, listen, people don't know that about Kevin O'Neal. First of all, he's probably one of the greatest recruiters that I'd ever been around my life because what he would do is he would show up and he would be standing in places to let you know he's there.
Yes.
Like you could go to McDonald's. Kevin would be sitting in there already.
Yes.
Like he was like that kind of recruiter. Like he was wherever you at, I'm gonna let you know that I want you. Like
and that was really what it was. He was, for me, we always used to joke. He's like, you want to play it cool, like you don't see me. And this, I was like, I'm trying to go through the recruitment process. But what sold me was one, how he came there and he was there, but also he just kind of really told me like, I need somebody to run my team. I'm gonna have guys around you that they can do all the other things. I need to be able to be like this my coach in that regard, and that was who I was. So I didn't have to go be who I wasn't. I was able to go be the person I was in high school and grow and improve, which we all want to do. In that way, so that was what I appreciated that I had that opportunity. And then I didn't know nothing about Marquette, honestly. I had no idea, nothing about Marquette at all. But
At Mills, what was the kid name that ran with Ohio State and Jimmy Jackson? His last name was Baker.
Mark Baker, the point guard.
Mark Baker.
Yep. Mark played against my high school the year before I got to high school. I was a freshman. So I was in the 8th grade and he was a senior at Dayton Dunbar, actually. Dayton Dunbar. And they played against Tregman. And I mean, listen, I went to the game. Oh, he was murdering us in high school. And that took him there. And then when high school, that made me want to go to Joe's because I'm like, we ain't got no guard. If we go, I thought about going there when I saw it. And I saw it, I'm like, okay. I can do this. I like to do that. But at first I wasn't really, it was interesting because I didn't want to go to St. Joe's, first of all. You understand? Like you all know when you all grew up, like St. Joe's was out. I had to get on the bus for like 30, 40 minutes to get there. So I grew up, I wanted to go to the local hood school and be the hood neighborhood star because I already snuck in some parties already when I was younger. I just, hey, I wanted to be the guy that when I walked in, oh, that's Tony. That's Tony. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I ain't want to get out. I ain't want to leave the city, or at least leave the hood. So I played mini league football, and there was a fireman, a guy named Ken Stanbeck, and there was another guy, who invested a lot in me, a guy named Lou Slapnick. These two guys invested a lot in me when I had started playing for a football team called Power Five, a mini league football team, one of the top football teams in the state. And they asked me, that's when they asked me about St. Joe's then. And I was like, no, I don't want to do it. You had to wear a shirt and tie, first of all. Only time I wore that when we went to church. I wasn't trying to be in that all day. We did that Sunday. And then and then it was an all boys school. Come on, man. I'm like, I'm from the hood. You about to send me to all boys school with a shirt and tie? I'm like, how this work? I'm not doing that. So they took me out there. It was different. It was a different atmosphere, and I still didn't want to go, but and it cost. So my family basically was like, listen, if you want to do it, but chip in together and help pay, and if it's the best thing for you, and I think it's better to get you out of these hood schools to go somewhere else. So I was like, okay, I'll do it, and I did it. And my freshman year, the way this all came about is my freshman year, I played freshman football. And it just went crazy. I was scoring touchdown after touchdown. We went option, this and this. And so they wanted to bring me up to varsity to run the option with Desmond because Elvis Gerback was quarterback. He was more of a throwing quarterback. So I come up to varsity. So in Cleveland, as you know, Chicago, it's cold as hell. It's snowing by the time football season going on. So one day we have practice, but one day they have a basketball tryout. No one knows I can hoop. I went and saw the game. I went and saw them play, like I told you before, but nobody really knows I can play basketball. They know I can play football.
Wow.
So I go to a basketball tryout, and I go in there, and I go from a regular tryout to them calling me back. The next thing you know, I get called back again to come try out for varsity. And they had a guard. They had a guard that they had brought in there that was supposed to be that point guard for them. And so next thing you know, he's like, Coach Moran was like, hey, I want to, let you know, we want you to play varsity. So it was either play varsity basketball at Joe's, which is like major, or go out there in the cold and be the backup quarterback when I'm only getting like probably I'm gonna get like 3 possessions just because I'm waiting to get in for a special time. I said, I'm gonna go ahead and hoop, man. I'm gonna go ahead and hoop. So but that's when it all started. And I actually started varsity my freshman year at Joe. This was a big thing for them, and I didn't know nothing about it. And I started varsity, and then it kind of built from there. But I still played football all the way up to my junior year. To that point, it even got crazy. Like my senior year, I couldn't go to football games because people would be mad at me because our team struggled and I wasn't playing. So
You
I had a
wasn't
lot of
playing.
people that really hoped that I didn't do well my senior year in
Mm-hmm.
basketball, but we won state. And that's the first time they ever won state at my high school. So I won state the first time I won state in basketball, the first time I won state in
Wow.
football. So I won state basketball in football my junior year, and I won state in basketball my senior year. And that's the first time that they won both, just in general. So
Wow.
so what you talking about, Will? And I give you this one. I got blessed enough to be inducted into the the City Hall of Fame, right? So for
Yes,
Ohio,
sir. Yes, sir.
State Hall of Fame. Now, you want to know?
Did they
You want to
retire? Did they retire your jersey after school yet?
no?
Uh,
So, so the crazy thing about it is my brother, my little brother, always he gets more mad at me about how can we be in the Hall of Fame for the state you did it in, but you're the one state in both sports, and you're not in the Hall of Fame or never retired at your own high school.
you're not even in the Hall
No,
of Fame at your school.
no, not at my high school. No.
Wow.
Do they do Hall of Fames at the school?
Yes, and I'll give you they did so they did a little red carpet thing one time. Everybody was asking about this. And I always say this is why I had a little disconnect with my high school was they did like a red carpet thing and they kind of did the I guess like a suit jacket kind of like the induction or whatever. And they inducted Desmond, which he should be, Desmond Howard, Opus Gerback, which should be. I think it was one other, and then they inducted also London Fletcher, Bam. So all them truthfully should be, no doubt, no question. And they
Mm-hmm.
asked Bam, did we miss anyone? And they said, and London was the one who said, I don't even know how we doing this without Tony.
Mm.
So, but hey, a lot like I say, a lot of times some of these places become one of those ones. Now, if I send a donation back, I might get up there. But you know
That's
how
what
that
it
go.
is.
Hey,
That's what it
that's the only thing
is.
that's the only thing I think about. But I don't know. So yeah,
Tell us about that first day, man. Marquette.
one.
What was that
Woo-wee!
like, man?
First of all, that's a long time ago, man. Jeez.